All and welcome back to Chapter 9, Lesson 10. This is actually kind of like, I would say it's almost a part 2 of Chapter 9, Lesson 10. Percent of increase and decrease, word problems today. Let's go ahead and pause, take a look at the front side. Come on back when you're ready for the second side of the assignment. And here's the second side. Now, I just want to point out where we've been, where we are now, and where we're going. We did the last couple days a little out of order because I thought this was a good virtual lesson. So we learned that percent always is a relationship of some number compared to 100. Now, we also could set up proportions if we compared the part to the whole. So that's when we're trying to find 34%, little disappearing ink here. You could have written, okay, 34% of 90 is what missing piece, right? You would put the 34% over here. All right, sometimes, and this is today's stuff, you're going to look at how much something goes up or goes down, how much it increases, decreases. But the key here is you're comparing it to the original. Compare how much it goes up versus going down versus the original, sorry. And then we kind of did this one out of order. If you're looking for a percent of error, that's you find how much you're off and compare it to the exact. So folks, I would right now immediately put those ratios at the top of your paper. Every time you're doing something, ask yourself, what are we comparing? If you got a percent, you're comparing to 100. If you got a whole, you should probably compare it to a part. If you're looking for increase or decrease, always compare it to the original. And if you're looking for how much you're off, how much your guess was wrong, compare it to the exact. If you wish, and I'm not going to tell you what to do, but we do have a worksheet today, and I might suggest for those of you that like keeping things organized in your binder or your notebook, go ahead and make a new piece of paper. This is assignment 23. Yes, I know we did 24 yesterday. We're going a little out of order this year. And we're going to do worksheet number 9B. But once again, if I were you, I would immediately write at the top of your paper those relationships. If you want to, pause, don't go back, pause, test yourself. Do you remember the relationships? Come back when you're ready. Percent always to 100. Part is generally compared to the whole. The percent of increase or decrease, you find how much something changes and compare it to the original amount. Last but not least, for percent of error, you could write the error, you could write how much you're off, but you're going to compare it to the exact number. So no need for this one then. Let's go on to several examples, folks. I'm going to do these rather fast. That way, if you're ever stuck, you're welcome to do your own solving, multiplication, division, check my work, and have an argument with me. Math, I always love a good mathematical argument. But we're going to have 5 or 6 examples for you, so let's begin. Toy store changed the price. So immediately I'm thinking, oh, change. Percent of increase of the new price was at 5, went up to 8. All right, question. What they're asking for here is what is the percent? So I'm always going to write percent compared to 100. You can use X, P, N, any variable you wish. You could even go to Greek letters if you want. Now, immediately I remember what Mr. Cowan just said. We're always looking for how much it changes, how much it goes up or down for you visual folks, compared to the original. And that was a major weakness of ours 2 days ago. We're already getting better at it. Now, I noticed the original price here was 5. And to go from 5 to 8, there is a change of 3. Now, there's no need to write plus or minus, no need to write positive or negative. We will write with our answer increase. So at this point, I'm just going to point out, many of you already know this one. You have it memorized. The rest of us, you can use scale factors here. There's no need for cross products. 3 times 20 is 60. So this is going to be a 60% increase. Final answer in this case, 60%. Onward we go. Sandwich shop. 175 sandwiches were sold lunch that evening rose 231, what was percentage of increase? So immediately, question is asking for the percent. Meanwhile, what was the original? The original, 175. So I make sure to write that in the original. Now, 175 is where it was at. It goes up to 231. So the question is, how much does it go up? In this case, if you go ahead and subtract those, 231 take away 175, you'd find an increase of 56. At this point, I don't know of any scale factor, so let's go straight into cross products, where we have 175 times some missing number p is equal to 56 times 100. Now, we don't know what 175 times p is, but we do know that 56 times 100 is 5,600. Let's go ahead and solve. If we want to know what p is, then we need to eliminate the 175 by division, because after all, 175 p's divided by 175 is a single p. And in this case, if you could trust my division, it ends up being a 32% increase. Onward, next example. Local car dealership, 144 cars sold in the month. Following month, the number sold decreased to 120. What was the percentage of decrease in the number of cars sold from one month to the next? Again, we see a percentage problem. If it's asking for a percent, we're going to compare that missing p percent to 100. What was the original amount? That was 144. But interestingly enough here, we started at 144, we go down to 120, and so we find a decrease of 24. Now, folks, there's no need to put a negative. All we're looking here, we'll write down later the letter D to signify that it's a decrease. So no need for positives nor for negatives. Let's get into our cross products because I can't find a scale factor to scale it up nicely. 144 times P, 24 times 100. We do not know what 144 times P is. After all, P is missing for now. We do know that 24 times 100, 2,400. To solve to find out what a single P is, we're going to divide both sides by 144. And again, if you can trust my division, I trust your division. We make little mistakes here or there. Now, this one happened to go on forever. I rounded to the 10th place. The answers here rounded to the whole, which naturally means that the closest whole percentage to this would be a 17%. Oh, I already promised you, and I forgot to write it, a 17% decrease. Onward. Tara bought a video game that was originally $8. Game was marked 40% off. How much did Tara save? Oh, now this is interesting. Slightly different than our previous. Remember, percent versus 100, change versus original. But check this out. In this particular case, they give us the percent. So let's go ahead and compare 40% to 100. They also give us the original amount, and the question says, how much did she save? So this is a different beast than the other problems. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up my cross products, where we have 100 times some number x equals 8 times 40. 100x is equal to 8 times 40. 8 times 4 is 32, so 8 times 4 times 10 would be 320. Go ahead and divide by 100. Sorry for the red. That's a little difficult to see. Don't forget, anytime you're dividing by a power of 10, you can move the decimal point however many zeros or whatever power of 10 it is. And so you'll find that x ends up being 3 and 2/10, or since the question is asking how much money was saved, $3.20. Notice the similarities to the previous problem. Notice the differences. Both were using a relationship of a percent to 100 and a change to an original. In this problem, we were missing the change. In the previous problem, we were missing the percent. So it all depends. You see similarities, you see differences, and of course, one major similarity, you will use your cross products to go ahead and solve for whatever missing piece you have. Pause if you want. These are getting longer, so pause, read, come back when you're ready. $800 price. Promotion, I don't know if that's interesting to you or not, but usually that tells me something. Offers 30% discount. What is the cost after the discount? Oh, now this is interesting. All right. Let's go ahead and set up our relationships here. Now think about it. Starts at 800. Discount means it goes down. And really, this is what we're asked to find. So in the end, we want to know what the cost is. But we don't know anything here. We don't know how much it goes. Oh, you know what? Look at that. 30% discount means how many dollars? So keep that in mind as we go here. 30%, 30 per 100. $800 was the original cost. Let's go ahead and find the D discount. Wait, Mr. Callan. Yes, you can use cross products. No, you don't need them. We can scale up quite nicely by multiplying by 8. So in this case, the discount will be 30 times 8 or $240. Does that answer the question? No, that's not what the question was asking. Now, was that a crucial part? Absolutely. But the question didn't ask how much was saved or discounted. The question asked, what is the final cost? So cost is equal to $800 go down 240. In other words, the cost is equal to $560. Now, I'm going to call this the Brosemer method because a certain gentleman had an interesting question. Mr. Callan, if we know what that is, can we just set it up? All right, if 30% is taken off, what is left? And as you might guess, 70% is left or remaining. But in this case, ladies and gents, that will give us the final cost. Check it out. 100 times 8, 70 times 8. Cost is equal to 70 times 8, or look at that. Slightly more efficient, but the same answer. You may choose either method if it's giving you a discount and asking for the final cost. All right, let's wrap up one more problem, ladies and gents. Real estate should tell you immediately we're talking big dollar amounts. 3% commission basically means if they sell something, if they sell a whole house, they get to keep a small part of it. That's their paycheck. That's how much money they earn. So in this case, this particular real estate agent earns a 3% commission. She sold a house for the price of $290,000. What was that commission? Again, maybe I shouldn't have deleted that. That ultimately is what we're asked to find. 290,000. Not quite sure why K was used for abbreviation for 1,000. I should look that up. Let's go ahead and set up a relationship because as soon as I see 3%, I know 3 is going to compare to 100. Now, where does that 290 go? Listen, the commission, this is a part that she gets to keep versus the whole problem. So the whole house is 290,000. What we're asked to find is the part that they get to keep. In other words, this is almost like a review problem. Let's go ahead and use our cross products, where 100 times some number x is equal to 3 times 290,000. We do not know what 100 times the missing number is. We do know that 3 times 290,000 will be 870,000. Dividing by 100, we'll move our decimal place over 2 times to see what seems like a very lucrative payday. Just a fair warning, most real estate agents do not get to keep all that. They have to split it up with whatever company they're working for. So if you're thinking, man, that's a great payday, it is, but it's got to be shared with the rest of the office. So that's what we have, folks. Moving right along, may I suggest maybe somewhere squeezed up at the top, go ahead and put in those relationships once again. The obvious one is the 100, the percent versus 100. The rest of them you will need throughout this assignment and throughout the rest of the unit. That's what I got for you today, folks. Do well and let's grow.